That's what she is doing. She's in bed and she is kind of sleeping and relaxed, and she hears you in the kitchen and makes her food request. Right.
Is the great omelette going to be the block produced thing, right?
I suppose.
So, yeah, so you well, I guess Jim is then pushing the buttons like omelette 1, and then he's taking I don't know, like a croissant or something.
Right, right. Excellent. So with this happening, the the way it works is that the antagonist, you are actually the main game master. You are the one who is going to use the minutiae of your antagonist to put pressure on this story goal, to make that story goal difficult, a problem, uh, and when things seem like there's a conflict happening, you have to recognize it and say so. Okay. And so, Sam, you can throw in your minutiae at any time, and so can anyone else.
Okay.
So
okay, cool.
don't
So,
forget your
yeah.
divorce and fidelity thing, your relationship stuff, Helma. You are the one, not me. You are the one who will bring in anything to do with that, right?
And I bring in stuff related to. Oh, sorry, Helma. But I bring in stuff related to housing. Okay. Cool. Okay. Great.
Let me get this straight. So I both have the minutiae that are connected to the antagonist, like peppering her with a bunch of letters that state that she can't have her store in this place, and she has to comply to those rules. And
don't give it away. Don't give it away. Yes, like that.
Something like that. And at the same time, trying to build a conflict.
No, you don't have to build a conflict. You don't have to build a conflict about that.
To influence their relationship?
Don't think of it as that active. Okay. Just play anything to do with the relationship in that level, at that legal level. Just bring in any detail. It doesn't have to be creating a conflict. Just anything that look at your issue and look at the shock and just do whatever you want to tell us what that looks like, if it's relevant. I mean, we are looking at a marriage to an alien, right? So you can say, aha, well, that means this in this room. So, Henna, do you see that you are being attacked by 3 crazy game masters at once? Right? So.
No, I mean,
but only one of them is hostile, and only half of that one is hostile. Right.
Yeah, well, I guess meanwhile, Jim is like cursing how annoying it is with all this food blocks and how that's not even proper food. It doesn't taste like anything.
So let's have. It's very interesting because sort of the woman is sort of a hybrid character right now in terms of who does things with her and about her. But I'm the one who sort of brings out her alienness. So she is going to come into the room, and she is wearing the kind of old pajamas, right, that your wife has had since college, that she loves, right? And so she's going to wear these damn things until they completely fall apart, right? And so, but the way she looks now, she doesn't look anything like you were the woman you were married to. She is now smaller, and she has no hair. Her skin is very smooth, like a frog's, although it is not wet. And her eyes are huge. And otherwise is humanoid, but that's what she looks like. And she comes in with her pajamas, and she goes, just as you were saying, oh, it doesn't taste like anything, she goes, oh, it smells great.
Well, dear Birgit, great that you think that way, but it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, it's great that you still like the pajama I bought you.
She kind of looks at it and says, "I love these." And then she kind of looks at you a little bit, their eyes lidded a little bit, and says, "She heard you say still," and she doesn't say anything. She doesn't like that. Okay. So, does anyone else want to bring in some minutiae? Other GMs?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I have a question. So, what, like, we know you're in kind of like a house or something, but what about your neighbors, or like, are you in a
Hey, who's in charge of housing?
Oh, okay. So okay, this is cool. Okay, that's good. Okay, so yeah, I like this. I think you're in kind of a normal suburban neighborhood where it's close, and the houses are close enough that you can sometimes hear your neighbors' arguments. And there's a house to your right, to the right, and this is a family that has. It's a similar family unit to yours, where there's like, I think the husband turned out to be an alien or whatever, and you can hear and this is a common occurrence nowadays, you can hear some angry people kind of shouting out in front of the house. You can hear someone crying and screaming. And you can probably see it. I mean, there's probably a window, like you guys are in the kitchen, there's probably a window where you can see right over there, there's the guys with their, I don't know, big coats and kind of concealed weapons standing at the front door, pounding on it.
Mm-hmm. We should also point out that since we aren't playing antagonists, most of anything we say about our minutia is colorful background.
Right.
Just want to let you know.
Yes.
Right.
So, right, and that's why
it's next door, not here. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so they're slamming on that door across the street.
So, Helma?
Yeah, I'm still kind of struggling with understanding how I can get an angle here in any way.
You already described one.
Yeah. But nobody's going to fetch their mail in this situation, so...
You are in charge of all things administrative about this. Who said anything about fetching mail? Maybe it comes in without you wanting it.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe it does while you watch this commotion going on next door. It's going to knock on your own door. Because why not? So somebody is standing out there looking pretty official.
I don't know if this is quite proper. I'm going to play the wife just because she's an alien. I've decided. But I'm going to ask Helma about love, fidelity, divorce stuff. Okay. So Birgit is going to, hearing the knock on the door, is going to react in a very frightened way and is going to get close to Yin. Very close.
This is okay. So so there must be one of these. It's these. Every home has one of these cameras at the front door, and I think when someone knocks at it, there's some response where, some screen in the room lights up and shows you who's at the door.
Right. Helma had implied that they got a good look at them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. But the camera is nice.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
Yeah. I
mean, hey, it's housing, right? That's good, right? You have the
exactly.
You have that housing.
Yeah. I was thinking of getting a look like through a window, but now it's from the door camera.
Mm-hmm. So I just you're basically looking at some kind of identity card or something that states that this person is from the food ministry.
Food ministry. Okay, darling, you can go to the next room, and I'm going to handle this.
She's looking at the same screen, that you are, and knows that it's not dangerous, and she says, uh, you know, I know this is important to you, but you can't keep sending me out of people's sights forever. And then she goes to the other room.
Okay, I'm going to open the door then. And I don't comment anything. Maybe I'm starting to say something, but like not coming up with anything to say.
I have a last name, but I don't have any, so
That's okay. Just
so
it's international after all.
let's see. Basically, the moment you open the door, the person out there, who I think is an alien,
Ooh.
actually,
Mm-hmm.
because why not? This is far down the food chain in that ministry.
Okay.
Is stating like very fast and without too much emotion, you have applied for a permit for a grocery store for specialty food in this vicinity. We are still missing a lot of information, so would you please provide this information? And then they are going to just a horrible thick package of forms. They are just pressing it against you. You'll have to fill these in and deliver back to the ministry within the next 3 days if you want to have any progress in this turning around.
Ooh.
Gone.
Well, we don't know if they're
Okay.
gone or not. We have to see what Jim says. But yeah.
Well,
On their way to.
Yeah.
Jim is coming like again. Like I have filled these like 50 already during the past week. So why more?
Sorry, sir, I can't answer that question. You'll have to call this number. Business hours are from 2 to 4 on Thursday afternoons.
Okay, well, thank you. I guess I don't know. Maybe I think I will call them. I just have to wait for a couple of hours.
So
Good luck.
Mm-hmm. So remember that we do need to have some kind of conflict in the scene, and that's Helma's job about this.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want, you can shift over to the phone call, or maybe there's something crazy about the package of papers or something like that.
Yeah. Let me think of something. Let's say when you go through that package, you realize that half of those forms, they are missing the second page or are illegible. So it certainly looks like somebody's trying to mess with you.
Yeah, I honestly don't think they are very legit papers. And I'm thinking like how, like if they are, how is this possible considering like all the technology, like we have this door cameras and we have well, I mean, I wouldn't count it as progress, but the food.
we must at least admit that it is in fact a device. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So how can this happen? Like these people, they really don't know about anything. Like they don't have very effective structure there.
Mm-hmm. So Helma, it's kind of your job to say, what do you do, to see what Henna says.
Yeah, Henna said already she's going to call, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm basically waiting for the call.
Yeah, well, before that, I think I'm throwing the forms to paper recycling bin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then I don't know, like maybe something like 9 or something, and it was from 1, right? So we can skip like a few
sure,
hours to the
absolutely.
phone call. So yeah, I'm going to call.
So when you call, you get somebody at the end of the line that kind of seems willing to listen to you. And then while you are talking to them, there is this moment where they go quiet for a while and then change their attitude, and you don't really get why. So they are like, this looks impossible, and have you ever thought of moving from that neighborhood or looking for a storefront somewhere a little bit
more, where you'll be more comfortable?
Yeah, where you would find customers that can appreciate your product in a very friendly way.
Well, I'm sure the appreciation is not going to be any problem. It's proper food.
As far as they are concerned, they are trying to help you to understand what the real problem here is.
So the way, I'm going to suggest that we are hitting the point for the dice. It's clear that further dialogue is only going to, drive Jim crazier. So therefore, what you do, Henna, is you say which of those 4 terms you want to use to solve this problem.
Which of what?
Administration, informal organizing, love, or fear. Some of them may seem completely inappropriate. That's fine. Ignore those. Look for the one that seems like the way you want to handle it, and that's fine.
Yeah, like is it like where I want to I forgot the word, but where okay, I'm unable to speak, but like how I want to influence, basically.
Yes,
so
although
it's
up to you.
The name of love or fear or
right. You could do that, but also you can kind of get out of this conversation and think of it more as a long-term solution. I mean, you don't have to be stuck right here in this specific conversation. I mean, you want to get this whole paper thing fixed, right? How are you going to do it? It can take you 5 minutes talking on this phone. It could take you 5 days, whatever you want, however you want to manage
right. Okay, but I think I want to approach with the passion and love for food, like trying to convince that, hey, like you have the problem there, not me. Like you are creating the problem that doesn't actually exist.
You will take your number 3 in the middle, and you will have 3 dice. One of them has to be a D10. The other 2 can either be a D10 and a D4, or both D10s or both D4s. Okay? So I'll tell you why in a moment. What are you trying to achieve? Basically, to clear up this whole paper problem? Is that it? Seems like? Yeah. So then, Helma, what is it that the antagonist is trying to achieve here? Not just this person, but I mean, like, what is the thrust of the from that point of view, what is the goal here with this difficult citizen?
So unbeknownst to the public, there actually is a policy that if you want to have a specialty food store, it should be in the central area of the city, and it should only be available for humans.
Aha.
Periods.
Got it.
But
Yeah.
as we aren't going to state this in the open,
Right.
we are kind of trying to force people to
Right.
change their applications until they are in the space.
That
where
sounds
we
good.
want them.
So what you would do is then pick one of those 4 terms that you are using as your weapon.
So
Probably the administration, correct?
yeah.
Okay.